Hello and welcome back to the Wizards Arena, my fellow Planeswalkers. We were away last week and a few little things have happened. One, to start us off with, is Mark Rosewater has done this the last couple of times. He gives us hints and rule text that will be in the new set of Kaldeim. I'm going to call it Kaldeim. That's what I think it says. Unless somebody tells me otherwise. Hint number one is we're going to get a 5-color legendary enchantment. Okay. We've had a 5-color legendary shrine recently, so that's not too shocking. Next up, we will be getting 2 in a black for a 6/6 with Death Touch. Now, obviously, with this one, just like Feed the Swarm, which covered a targeted enchantment, there is going to be something else going on here. Sack a creature, sack 2 creatures, sort of like Demon of Catastrophes. We'll have to pay some other cost, pay life, whatever. So, because he had this before for the Zendikar artifact creatures that were like 7/5 for 3 or something like that. A card that allows you to kill someone with poison. More infect maybe, more poison counter distribution. A card with progenitus activation. Okay, we've gotten Door to Nothingness before that had this. It's been a while. Not really exciting. A card that lets you use a creature's toughness to perform an action normally using a creature's power. My guess here, it's going to be fight. Because normally fight is how much power you have. Numerous new non-creature tokens. A card that you can make of a token that's a copy of target permanent for no mana. I'm curious, because it's no mana, there's got to be some kind of other payment involved. It might be, they might be bringing back some version of Phyrexian mana. A little one. Okay. A black creature that can copy other creatures. So this is where you start getting the guilds blurring into other colors. Dimir was blue-black, so it makes sense that black would have shapeshifters. And I don't mind it because we got rogues and stealthy guys, so it would make sense that rogues would, some of them would be shapeshifters, so whatever. The introduction of a creature type that players have wanted for years. We'll be seeing that soon. A card that has, with 3 activation costs, 1 that only has ever been used before, and 2 that have never been used before. So a bunch of different activations on this one card that we've never seen before. Rule text. Protection from gods. Okay. Sack 5 treasures, do a thing. Okay. If 3 or more creatures die this turn, do a thing. Choose 1, 2, or 3 at random. Okay? Except for giants, wizards, and lands. You may search your library and or graveyard for a rune card. So that sounds like Sorcery's Arcane. Rune's going to be a new thing. Or Rune's going to be like... Actually, it probably be more like a version of an enchantment. As long as you control 3 or more legendary creatures. X is as long as is the number of vehicles plus the number of equipment you control. As long as you have at least 7 or more life than your starting life total. I.e. see the white cleric we got from Core. Create X of those tokens instead. Okay. And then things off the screen that are Angel Warrior, Zombie Rogue, Dwarf Cleric. We get a Horse Spirit, a Vampire Dragon again. Ooh. legendary wolf, which we've seen, legendary bird spirit, legendary giant wizard, legendary demon berserker, and of course, what we've all wanted in life, a legendary squirrel. So let's get into the few cards we've now been granted over that week. Actually, more like Christmas Eve and the day after Christmas, but okay. Now, I know some people are asking for larger pictures, and I tried several different things between PDF enlargement, we can do it this way. You'll see a little bit of my desktop and stuff, but that way you guys get to see it better. So, Arena the Broken Bow, 2 in a red. He's a 3/3 with haste. Sounds already good. He can boast for 1 colorless. You may change his base power to 1 plus the greatest power among other creatures you control until end of turn. Okay. So if you have a board state and you draw him late, and you're like, wow, I really wish I had a 6-drop, you can spend 3 mana plus 1 to make him into that creature's power and toughness. Oh no, his toughness stays the same. Ugh. So we'll just say, for example, I have Terror of the Peaks out. So he comes into play. Terror of the Peaks is a 5/4. I spend 1. He's a 5/3 with haste. With no abilities. That just does not sound that great. It's alright. So as a result, we're going to give him a 3. He needs a board state to be decent late game for his ability. He has the issue also of he doesn't have like first strike or trample, so he needs other cards to do stuff with or gear. So basically, I feel like he's good limited, but like he's just not that great. And you can only act as ability. So our next guy up. Let's see how this works by doing it this way. I'm sorry guys, this is okay. Battle for Britargara. 1 colorless, a green and a white. Enchantment Saga. Okay. Step 1. Make a 1/1 white human warrior token. Step 2. Make a 1/1 green elf warrior token. Okay. Step 3. Create any number of artifact tokens and or creature tokens you control with different names. For each of them, create a token that's a copy of it. So this might be the card you're alluding to, that for no mana you get to have copies of tokens. So step 1, yeah. Step 2, not really excited. If you got a nice board state, step 3 is really good. So it's dependent on your board state. So we'll give it a 5, because half the time it could be amazing, half the time it could be bleh. It should give you, for 3 mana, 4 power on the board, which is okay. Blessing of Frost. We were told earlier that snow would be a thing. We got it. 3 in the green, snow sorcery. Boom. Distribute X. +1/+1 counters among any number of creatures you control, where X is the amount of snow spent to cast a spell. You draw a card for each creature you control with power 4 or greater. So, a couple things I like about this card. One is if you're going to do like a snowy theme in Commander, it's cool. For 4 mana, you get to put 3 +1/+1 counters out there and potentially draw some cards. If you do it into a board state that has, like, let's just say 2 creatures, we'll go for half of the cost here. And this able to pump 1 or them up, you get to basically have 4 power with a draw. So, you know, potentially this could get you 3 cards. Actually, potentially it can get you more than 3 cards. But I think your best bet would be is that you're boosting your team a little bit and you're drawing 2 cards, which is okay for 4 mana. I'd give it about a 4. It's fair. It's not busted crazy. It is what it is. Our next card is Vorn Klex. Oh baby, he's here. So, here's a new creature type we were told would happen. Phyrexian. We're going to get a bunch of errata, I bet you, about creatures being Phyrexians. Okay, he's a mythic. That's a 6/6 for 4 and 2 green. Trample Hay 6/6. Pretty good already. Got 2 abilities. If you put 1 or more counter on a permanent or player, put twice the many of those kinds of counters on permanents or players. Okay, let's get in there. This is double in season. So technically, the way it is now, if you cast a Planeswalker, we're going to get the amount of loyalty counters on it doubled in standard. Now, the last time we had double in season in standard, Planeswalkers weren't a thing. Now, I know the reason why for double in season, when Planeswalkers come into play, sees the amount of counters and all that stuff, and it doubles them. But when you use their abilities, because it's a payment cost, double in season does not see it. My only complaint is that you have the Planeswalkers get doubled by entering, but not by using their ability. Please make it so, Wizards, that it's either both or none. I don't care if you want the double in season to double the power, the number of tokens on effects on Planeswalker, but I understand why you made a rule differential, but with him in standard now and Planeswalkers now a thing in standard, not as bad as with War of the Spark, just make it so Planeswalkers don't work with double in season. Please. Like, you don't need that added cream to the crop. Like, it just doesn't need to be that little cherry on top for the walkers. They're good enough. But So, ignoring all that, that's amazing. And then we got more. If an opponent would put one or more counters on a permanent or player, they put half many of each of those kind rounded down. So that's just amazing, too. Instead of having mana making people sad at the table for EDH, like we play with the old one where normally it says if you tap your land, it doesn't untap. We ignore that clause. We just let people untap normally, and people get less sad because it's your personal preference in EDH. Ban cards you hate. We don't want to ban this. We just basically treat it as a mana reflection. So, Vorn Klex is no longer on New Phyrexia. He got out. We know that the Blue Walker that was helping Nicobolas had to play no portal. So this is laying the groundwork to the assault on New Phyrexia. I kind of felt that it'd be wanting to hold that back to like set like 100-ish. Zendikar, I believe, was 85. So the idea is that when we get to another big anniversary, like the 30th anniversary or the 100th set, we'll be able to celebrate it with a final showdown between Phyrexia versus the new coalition of people. But I like this. It's really cool. And let's see what our next card is. Oh, you know what we forgot to do? This is a... I feel like they really crushed it out of the park. I think it's a 9. It's not too far overpowered to get banned. They reined it in a little bit. It'll be interesting to see what other walkers we get. Maybe a Nissa with him in standard might be a thing. But we'll just have to see what like Tybalt's ultimate is. Maybe him and Tybalt will team up and have a fun time in a deck together. Okay. And lastly, we got a Squirrel Legend. Oh, baby. So, for 3 and a green, it's a 1/1 legendary creature Squirrel. Zoom. Can't be countered. Indestructible. Attacks each combat if able. My god, this is already a mouthful of words. And then, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, draw a card. So, built-in reconnaissance mission. Okay. So, he's going to hit the board. He's not going to get killed by a lot of the black removal right now. You can get bounced. He's a reconnaissance mission on a dude. Does not possess the hasties. He's pretty good. He's a good little card. Nothing crazy about him. Squirrel Tribal's finally here a little bit. Doesn't buff the Squirrel. He's not a Squirrel Lord. So I would say he's a 6. Because you're guaranteed to get your reconnaissance mission on the board. And if you're playing a lot of stuff with evasion, hard to deal with, then he will be pretty good for your deck. So that's our last card that it showed us. I believe spoilers start in 9 days. At any rate, my name's been Draymore the Wizard's Arena. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below. We'll probably have to do previews this way with a window pane. Like, I'm sorry, folks. Just so it's easy for you guys to read. I'm trying to find other ways to do stuff, improve the channel. I'm uploading some Vintage Cube. I'll be putting links on the Facebook page of how to get to deck lists. And then we're looking at doing a podcast series about unknown commander cards and such. As always, have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.